Hello everyone, this is HE47 Liberty, and today I'm going to talk about this month in precious metals and how this month is the marking point, I believe, of it's a transition month. It's a month where we'll see more history happen in just a short period of time than we have seen in probably our lifetimes. So this is quite exciting times. Also could be quite hard times, but a lot of history is going to happen, and it's just starting. The snow is just starting to fall, and it's going to build itself into a giant snowball, probably into an avalanche soon. As we know, it started with the Germans. Let's go over what happened this month. The Germans want their gold back. They came to, I guess, some sort of agreement where the U.S. London just told them, you know what, you're going to get what we're going to give you. And they're over 7 years are going to get back something a little bit less than 700 tons of gold out of the 1,700 that are stored in the banks abroad. So who else? Well, the Dutch also came out. They see what's happening, so the Dutch go, where's our gold? And the Swedes follow suit. They said, well, where's our gold? So they're investigating. And the latest member of this I Want My Gold Back Club is the Swiss. They are now going to pass a referendum where they want 100% of their 1,040 tons of gold back in Switzerland where it belongs. Okay, these countries understand if you don't possess it, if it's not in your possession, you don't own it. Somebody else has. And with the lack of response from the U.S. and London and them dragging their feet, one can only come to the conclusion that there is something amiss in those banks. They've probably leased all that gold out and they can't get it back. So I don't know how much longer they can drag their feet on this issue, but if I were from one of these countries, I certainly would be worried that my gold is gone. And this is only going to lead to a bunch of lawsuits, or who knows. It's definitely our standing in the world here in the U.S., at least according to our government and the standing of our government and the standing of these big banks, their integrity is definitely now in question, which is not good for a market economy. Now, what else has happened this month? Well, the Russians said, hey, we no longer are going to accept paper sovereign debt instruments and put them into our reserve fund. We will now only accept gold. So the Russians did that, and now they just bought another 600,000 ounces of gold and put it in for their reserve fund. Also, you want to remember that Russia is the 4th largest gold producer in the world, and they don't export any gold. So they're keeping their gold too. So this moves me into China. China, the #1 gold producer in the world, and they refuse to export any. They don't want to export it. They hoard it all, which is their right. It's their gold. Not only are they keeping all their gold that they mine, but they are also importing as much gold as they can get from around the world. So here we have China importing all the gold that they can get. Plus, they're keeping all their gold. The #1 and #4 producers of gold in the world do not sell any into the marketplace. Into a I guess you can call this into a time when the rest of the world is starting to demand more and more gold. This is only going to add more pressure. Also, one of the reasons for China to why it's hoarding so much gold is that it wants to back the yuan. Basically, they've come out and said that, and the World Gold Council has also confirmed that. So you will see that is ominous for the U.S. dollar. Okay, that will also force, in U.S. dollar terms, that will force the price of gold up very high. Another factor is the Canadian and U.S. treasuries, or the Canadian Mint and our U.S. Treasury suspended gold sales. I mean, not gold sales, silver sales of our silver $1 rounds. And when they do come back online, when they get their supplies replenished, they are talking about restricting supplies. So in other words, they're going to start rationing what they are going to sell. That is an indication that the prices are too low if they have to forcibly restrict supply. Instead of letting the price rise, which would naturally restrict demand, they are going to keep it at the same price and just dole it out to their friends. That's exactly what it's going to come down to. And eventually, once the silver does run out at that price, because who's going to sell them silver at such a low price, then there will be no more silver coming from the U.S. and probably the Canadian governments. All right, so that's what's happened so far this month in gold and silver, and I hope to be doing this periodically to keep everyone updated, and also to have a little history of how this transitioning period, what took place. All right, thank you very much. And remember, trust in God, everyone else pays in silver.